After the Revolutionary War in 1776, there was a group of American artists, including the first generation to really consider themselves professional writers, who were concerned with creating an American cultural identity. However, much of Americans' cultural identity was shaped by the art and literature from Europe and by the assumption that European culture or culture was for the socially elite. Thus, there was some controversy among artists and writers about the ways to develop an American culture that was different, as well as controversy within America in general regarding creating an American language that was distinct from the English of Great Britain. As this discussion evolved, there were calls for the writers to create a distinctly American style of language and writing. Many writers who we recognize as the great American writers brought into this working to create an American literature that was different in significant ways from the European written works, which were still widely read and circulated within the colonies and later within America. Chief among them was Washington Irving. At this time, there is also a significant controversy revolving around the reading of fiction. Despite or because of this, the novel became very popular during the 18th and early 19th century in post-revolution. In other words, right after the Revolutionary War, we're talking about 1780, 1790. Irving, at the prodding of Sir Walter Scott of England, took German Romantic literature, specifically folk tales, and naturalized them to display a strong sense of American place. These stories both included the sketchbook of Geoffrey Kenyon, Gent, offers stories couched in American themes and American scenery. By this time, many American writers were focusing on things within their literature that were uniquely American, including the wilderness, local landscapes, rural villages, issues of slavery, and images of native people. In many ways, American literature of this time period celebrates America as a uniquely, physically, culturally, and politically unique from Europe. Regionalism is a way that was embraced by individual writers and artists, and something that continues throughout America's literature, extending even to today. And so in the beginning, with the birth of American literature, many writers imitated European literature, and many of the colonists still read European literature, thinking that European culture was superior or more sophisticated or more mature than American literature. So many American writers, as a result, wanted to create a uniquely American style of writing, something that would focus on the American spirit. And so that's how regionalism first started. And so the main themes of the Romantic era and the beginning of American literature was to talk about the wilderness, local landscapes, because you have to understand that North America at this time was filled with beautiful, unpopulated landscapes, unlike Europe, where every single inch is taken by people, urbanization, villages, wall-to-wall people in Europe, whereas the New World was seen as unpolluted, not polluted, unpopulated, beautiful, unspoiled. That's it. So then as a result, American writers focused on talking about the beauty of nature, which is one of the main tenets of Romanticism, which is the first literary movement in the United States for American literature. And so they focused that Romanticists focused on beautiful landscapes, rural villages, and images of native people. And the images of native people tended to be quite naive, because they tended to see the native people, that is the American writers, saw them in very naive, and would see them from the outside, like they're exotic, noble savages. So if you Google noble savages and romanticism, then you get to see the European, Eurocentric view of Native Americans. And so these were the first topics, the birth pangs of American literature, starting at around 1800. So if you have any questions, you can always email me